didn't come carpeted. And then I designed the paint scheme. You made it the way you like it. It doesn't necessarily make it worth more money. Then we upgraded the motor to a 1915 dual carb Weber. So how much horsepower did these things have? 50 to 55 horsepower now. All right. You mind if I take it for a spin? Sure, go ahead. Never had anybody else drive my thing. So I'm kind of hoping they come back with a smile on their face. What do you think, son? Stupidest vehicle I've ever seen in a cold. You just have no style. No one sees me. I remember it was like pure freedom when I got this thing. That's why I love this car. I actually want it. But I gotta be honest, I'm a little worried about all the changes he made. I'm worried that those changes will make it even harder to sell. So the price has to be reasonable. Okay, guys, what do you think? Well, it definitely brought back memories, I'll tell you that. So how much do you want for this thing? 15 grand. Here's my problem with it. The paint job, all the carpets, it changed too much around. I think you like it the way it is. No, I would want this thing bone stock. So what are we talking then? I go $5 grand because it cost me another $5 grand to turn it back yellow and ugly looking like it is originally. I don't think I'll sell to you if you're going to turn it back into yellow ugly. 13.5. I wanted one of these for years. I just haven't got around to buying one. But 5,500 is most like a. I'm gonna have to turn that down today. All right, thanks a lot, man. The $5,000 mark just isn't gonna do it for me today. I won't get my son into a new truck. Hey, how can I help you? I have some Silvermore cannonballs. Really interesting. Have you ever fired one like that? I have a cannon that shoots bowling balls. I came down to the pawn shop to try to sell my Silvermore cannonballs. I'd like to get $100 a piece for them, but I'll take as low as 50. Where did you find these? My father tore down in jail, and these leftover Silvermore cannonballs were in between the slabs. Okay. These kind of cannonballs were not like you see in the movies where the cannonball comes down and explodes and everything. What would happen was a good artilleryman would want to shoot it straight, so when it hit the ground, it bounced. The idea was shoot it, get it bouncing against the ground, take out 5, 10, 15 troops, because a leg with bone and flesh isn't going to slow this thing down. It's pretty heavy for a little ball. This right here, a packet of 10 or 15 of these was crammed down a barrel. You get 15 or 20 of these things bouncing across the battlefield, there's going to be carnage. So it's possible these have been used in a battle and hurt or killed someone. You said that they were used in the building of a jail. They were probably surplus. It's really hard with cannonballs to date them because basically that's all they are is a round piece of iron. They've been making them the same since the 1400s. Before that, they just made them out of stone. So could they be older? These definitely look Civil War-ish. Really standardized walls, cast wheel and everything. But this thing right here, I think this is older than the Civil War. It's more crudely made. Revolutionary War? Something like that. That's pretty cool, too. It's impossible to be 100% sure that these are authentic, but I don't think anyone would take the trouble to make these. They're not worth a ton of money, but there's a huge market for anything from the Civil War, so I think I can get them sold. How much you want for them? $50 a piece. Okay, first off, these are pretty damn common. Farmers still find these today. A little less common, but remember, they made millions and millions of these. How about $100 for the lot? What about that one that's older? You know, it's still just an old iron cannonball. How about 120 then? Yeah, what the hell? I got $120. All right, thank you. You all right, Macho? Go practice jungle. I sold the balls for 120. I was hoping for a little more, but I can live with that. Hey, boss, come check this old fighter plate out. It's for sale. What you got, gentlemen? Check it out. The T6G. Pretty cool. We should go check this out. Yeah, I like that. No, you're not going to check out anything. Because last time you went and checked out a plane, you guys were gone all day long and no work got done. So, Rick sometimes confuses having a big head with being the head honcho, which is me. This one's for sale, Rick. I think it's a good deal. Check it out. I might not. If anybody's going to spend that kind of money, it's going to be me, not you guys. You know what? Does look interesting. It does look pretty cool. I think you and I should go check it out. What are we and the old man going to do? Work? That ain't fair. Well, you don't think we can have fun without you? Why, I'm bored. Earlier, Chum spotted an ad for a World War II firefighting that's up for sale. So my dad and I decided to check it out. Wow, this is cool. So this is it? This is our 1942 North American AT-6 Texan. You guys interested in buying this airplane? Both of us been talking about getting a pilot's license, and I think I could do a pretty good job of crashing this thing. The guys came down from the pawn shop to look at my AT-6 Texan. The reason I want to sell this airplane is my wife and I would like to build a house. I'm asking $185,000 for this airplane. It's absolutely worth every penny of it. So it's a 1942. It flew in World War II and the Korean War. This one did? Yeah, it did. So did it ever get shot? No, but it actually was a gunnery trainer. They actually had a gun mounted right here, and the pilots could actually fire the gun. So in World War II, this was the airplane the government used to train all our pilots. The Tuskegee Airmen all flew this airplane down in Alabama. So it's a very famous airplane. Dominating the skies is one of the things that has made the United States military the strongest force for over 100 years. It's pretty badass. This plane was used to train the best pilots in the world. It has a newly overhauled engine. Looks like a bunch of Harley motors put together. It does. And this thing actually sounds like 9 Harleys all running. It's a 9-cylinder, 650 horsepower. So how fast is it? Well, this airplane would cruise at 200 miles an hour, and the structure inside is a roll cage. So if they ever flipped it by accident on the ground, it would protect you. Can we look at the cockpit? I actually can't wait to see what it's like behind the controls of this thing. Bigger than I thought it'd be inside here. There you go. The person getting trained would be in the back or the front? The instructor would be in the back seat. It's fully dual control, so there's the throttle, stick, and all the flight instruments are also in the back of the airplane as well as the front. So you could actually give me flight lessons in this thing, huh? That's what it was built for. Now, go ahead and place your feet on the rudder pedal there. Attaboy. That steers the tail wheel that's on the ground. So what's this trigger for right here? You just shot the gun. Those 30 cals were blazing. I mean, it would definitely be cool if he was flying this thing in World War II shooting Nazis. I think I like the way I look at this. And who knows, it might actually make a great trainer for me and my dad. So how much do you want for it, man? $185,000. I got a buddy who's a Navy fighter pilot. You mind if I have him come down and take a look at it? You know, if you think he's qualified, I think that's good enough. Let's bring it on. I have no question about the caliber of this airplane. I'm ready for this. You know what pisses me off? They're out there goofing off. They're like, we're stuck in here working. When they come back, they don't say, oh no, they were working. They were having fun. Yeah, well, I'm not going to worry either. Some way you never do. Hey there. How you doing? What do you got here? I got some World War II ration books I brought in today. Hey, boss. Let's see what you got. It's like stamps to me. You're dumb as a board, Thomas. I came down to the pawn shop today to sell my World War II war rationing coupon books. The books come from my wife's family. I was hoping to get maybe $25 or $40 out of it. War ration book. Somewhere in the Second World War, they rationed
quite a few different items. Gas, tires, sugar.
I've been selling these on the black market for big bucks.
John, they say that if you sell these things, you go to jail up to 10 years.
I wouldn't get caught.
Yeah, right. In World War II, the war effort was priority number one. Anything that the military needed, they got. Gasoline, meat, aluminum, you name it. People had to sacrifice a lot in those days, but they were glad to do it. It was all set up on what you needed to survive and to do your job. You go to the gas station, you get 2 gallons of gas, then tear a stamp out. When the stamps run out, you didn't get no more gas until you were eligible for another book.
Yeah, I guess you'd be walking then, huh?
Stone cold. Price of stamps is a reminder of how people had to sacrifice back in the day. That's how come they were called the greatest generation. What were you looking to do with these, sir?
I was wanting to sell it.
These things are neat, and they're part of American history. The problem you have is they printed millions on millions of these.
So you don't think they're worth anything?
There's just no resale value on them.
Well, I appreciate you taking time to look at it. I learned a lot from you.
No problem. You have a good day.
I think I just might keep them as a memento to my wife's family.
Earlier, Corey and I checked out an old Air Force trainer plane. We're actually interested in buying it, so I asked my buddy Matt to come on down and check it out. Corey made an offer.
This is my buddy Matt. I'm a Marine Corps F-18 pilot with 18 years of experience, a graduate of the Naval Fighter Weapons School, Top Gun, and former U.S. Navy Blue Angel pilot. So, Rick, you really want to try and buy this airplane?
I want to get an airplane. I'm just trying to figure out the right one.
Well, the Texan's an awesome plane. It basically was the workhorse to train all the cadets in World War II. This aircraft was great for training not only our fighter pilots, but also our bomber pilots, the B-17, the B-24 pilots. During World War II, we dominated the skies, whether that's Europe or over in the Pacific region. This aircraft helped train those pilots to get to that final step to where they flew that P-51 or that F-4. So after this, it's ready for combat and, potentially going in harm's way. You guys have any concerns?
How well does it fly? Would it be good for me?
Well, it's a great trainer plane.
I know, but you're trying to sell it to me?
It is, but that tail wheel right there makes it a little difficult.
So is it harder to land it with the tail wheel?
You got it. Landing a tail dragger, that airplane can swap ends pretty quickly. Where it doesn't have the tricycle gear, where you have a nose gear and 2 tail gear, you actually have it in the back. It's a little unstable with that. Landing a tail dragger is kind of like going from learning to ride your bike, where you have training wheels on it, and then also you take those training wheels off.
Basically, we have no aviation skills. We're about to start school, so
You might have to start off with something a little less powerful and a little easier to fly.
I thought we could learn to fly this thing, but clearly that's not a good idea. But I still love this plane, so if I can get it for a good price and I can resell it and make a profit.
Before I can give you a price range on this aircraft, we need to do a visual inspection.
Do your stuff.
You bet. How many hours do you have on your engine?
It only has about 20 hours since the engine has been completely overhauled.
The engine's on here 1,600 hours. And as you get closer to that mark, you need to overhaul, and that is a big ticket item. So that's actually a plus. On the front, he's going to have a spinner. Not all Texans have a spinner. It adds about $5,000 in value.
Just for that little cap on the front.
Just for here, the spinner on here.
Protects it from elements, dirt, rust, and things like that.
That's why airplanes are so damn weird, because it just doesn't look like it would cost $5,000.
Yeah. Come on up. Have a seat.
He's got a clean cockpit set up. This aircraft is fairly basic to fly. Landing and takeoff is a little hard with the tail wheel, but literally with the stick, it's up, down, left, right to maneuver the aircraft. You've got a pretty easy throttle. So the last thing to do here is to take this airplane flying. Dennis and I should go airborne.
Yeah, let's take her up.
All right, let's do it.
Do your stuff.
I'm super excited to fly this aircraft. I spent most of my time in jets, and this will be really kind of a throwback. It'll be fun to fly this.
Earlier, Corey and I went and checked out a classic plane that was used during World War II to train fighter pilots. Now my buddy Matt is going to take it for a test drive to see if it's worth shelling out the cash.
I've inspected the exterior and the interior of the plane. We've looked at the logbooks, so I'm really excited to fly the aircraft.
Wonder what it's like to just hop in any plane you see and be able to fly it. I don't know, but I think it would be pretty cool. Okay, ready to go.
The aircraft performed very well on takeoff. We did a bunch of aerobatics. We did a couple loops. For a true zero pressure luxury selling experience, visit a Diamond Bank. We do one thing for the best innovation at, which is jewelry and watches. So find diamond jewelry, engagement rings, Rolex watches, and signed designer jewelry such as barrel rolls.
Oh my God. Maybe one day I'll be able to play it.
Aircraft flew pretty awesome.
But now, I want to keep it straight here. There it is.
No ranking action.
Apparently it works.
So how was it? Awesome. We had a blast. Good aircraft. Did a nice job restoring that. Oh. It's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
All right, so what do you think it's worth?
Right now, current market, what we're looking at, I think it's fair value. It's about $170,000 on the spot.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair estimate.
So what does it cost to own one of these things?
First thing is you need a hangar. That's about $300 a month. Then this aircraft needs to fly. It needs to get lubricated, oil through the systems, fuel. Everything's about $275 an hour to fly.
Seems like this thing's going to cost me $1,000 a month just to own until I can sell it.
That's a safe number.
All right, well, thanks, man.
You bet. Great to see you.
How you doing, man?
Okay. See you. Thanks a lot, Matt. Good chat.
So what is your bottom dollar?
I look at something around 165,000.
Oh. You know, I sort of came out here on a whim. So on a whim, I'll give you 140 grand.
Yeah. It's getting warm.
I mean, if I buy it, it's going to sit around for a while. It's going to cost me money to own it until I resell it or figure out what the hell I'm going to do with it.
Well, it's a vintage and a classic airplane. There's so much heritage with this, and it appreciates in value.
It's definitely something I'm interested in.
You know what? 157. Kind of warm it up a little bit for you.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I'd go like 140 on it if you take it.
You gave me 150. We probably have a deal today.
As a businessman, I will go 140.
If you come up just a little bit, at 145, we'd be shaking hands.
I'll tell you what, my man. I'm going to go back and do a little bit more research. If I think we can pay you 145 for it, I'll give you a call and we'll do it. But right now, I'm going to hold you at 140.
Boy, we were really close, so why don't we just think about that a little bit, and maybe there'll be a phone ringing between here and Vegas.
Have a good one, man.
All right, thanks a lot, guys, for coming out. I'm shocked that they didn't take the offer.
I'm bummed we got that close and couldn't make a deal. But I'm glad it was me and Corey that got to check out the plane. If we had sent Chum and the old man, they would have wasted the whole day playing around. Good work, Shirley.
On this episode of Pawn Stars,
I got an old Stevens shotgun. I've never seen a three-trigger shotgun in all my life. Do you have any idea what you're looking to get out of it? 100,000.
Got a 61 Benz.
I definitely feel a vibe on it. I like it.
Tore the car down the bare frame and started ground up. Did custom airbags, 4-way.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah. This is an 1864 Abraham Lincoln campaign token.
Oh, wow. I've been working the night shift for a while now.
I'm thinking about $1,500.
That is definitely not a decision I'm going to be able to make by myself. I'm sorry I had to call you in.
I'm Rick Harrison, and this is my pawn shop. I work here with my old man and my son, Big Hoss. Everything in here has a story and a price. One thing I've lived up for 21 years, you never know the line is going to come through that door.
So what do you got here? It's a 35 millimeter documentary camera, and it was used by the military during World War II. Okay. By Bell and Howell.
It's a pretty neat camera. What do you think? Or do you just think it's archaic?
You can film pretty much the same thing on a cell phone.
I came down to the pawn shop today to try to sell a 35 millimeter Bell and Howell military motion picture camera. If I could get $2,000 for it, I'd be happy. All those World War II documentaries you see, and this is what it was made with. Where did you get this?
My dad got it from a friend of his that had served in World War II and was a cameraman.
You know what? Quite frankly, I wouldn't want that job. Can you imagine just
Claro, te agarré de
in
limón.
battle and your rifle is across your back and you're holding a camera and you're the guy who's
Beside
supposed
that.
to pop your head
Ah,
out of the hole
I'm
and
done.
film stuff? It would have been crazy. But just about any movie projectors, movie cameras, was military equipment during World War II was Bell and Howell. Okay. Bell and Howell was started by two guys.
Ya tengo, dame 10 minutos.
in the
¿Qué?
1900s. One of their most popular products was an 8 millimeter movie camera. It was basically the home video camera of the 1930s. I mean, the great thing is you have all these little accessories. You got a lot of lenses here. I mean, check to see if it works.
No, I haven't.
And that does. That cranks up the spring inside. So when you go to film, all field cameras are like this. You wound it up, it was mechanical. That way you didn't have to carry batteries around with you. Okay. It's a hell of a machine. And there's still a market for this stuff. Not just a collector.
The season of giving is all about hope, compassion, and joy. Yet for some children, this time of year is like any other, a constant struggle to survive and thrive. I'm Jennifer Garner, and I'm teaming up with Save the Children to
But actually people who use it. So I like it. How much you want for it?
I was thinking $2,000.
I mean, it's a really cool, nice camera. Okay, but it's not $2,000 cool.
How cool is it?
$800.
I don't think that'd be good.
I mean, remember, I have to find the right customer. Okay? It's probably a film student's college kid, a lot of student loans. I might go to $1,600. I'll tell you what, I'll go 1,000. That's the best I could go. It really is.
All right, $1,000.
All right, have fun right now. So follow me, man.
I came away with $1,000 I didn't have. I'm gonna put it to good use and feel good about it.
What do we got here? I got an old Stevens shotgun, 3 triggers. It's been in the family for about 60 years. I travel around the country with my line of work, and I've been toting the shotgun around for the last 15 years.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an insurance adjuster.
Sounds like you should have a briefcase, not a shotgun.
I came to the pawn shop today to see what kind of money I can get out of my rare 3-trigger 12-gauge shotgun. I hope today I get a check for $100,000. One thing that I think is really cool about the shotgun is the third trigger. It's when it opens up the breech.
Okay, so instead of the little lever on the side, they use that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I believe it was made for somebody special. That's all hand engraved right there.
Oh, absolutely. Stevens, they made good rifles. They made excellent shotguns. We get Stevens guns in here every now and again, but this 3-trigger model shotgun is something you only hear about. It's Wyatt Earp. It's definitely badass.
How old is this shotgun?
I would put that at about 150 years old.
It's in really good shape. What you have here is you got a barrel that's made out of Damascus steel. And Damascus steel comes from Damascus, Syria, and there's a few things on the steel there that just make it better. You can see kind of like the wavy lines in the barrel. Pretty much what they would do is they would take wire, wrap it around a solid piece of steel, and heat up and hammer it until it became one solid piece of steel. Real expensive process at the time, the best steel in the world. So do you have any idea what you're looking to get out of it?
100,000.
Are we just shooting in the dark there? Nobody's never seen one before. I've never seen a 3-trigger shotgun in all my life. For all I know, the thing could be worth tens of thousands. On the flip side of that coin, it could be worth absolutely nothing. Would you mind if I called a buddy of mine down to have him take a look at it?
That'd be fantastic.
All right, man. Appreciate it. I really want this thing. But when dealing with a gun that's this old, lots of things can
Ahí te da.
And the last thing I do is make an offer and find that I'm waiting.
Dibujar atrás.
How's it going? I've got a custom car that I like to do. Okay. Custom car. It's a 61 Benz.
Yeah, pull it around to the back, man. All right, this is the back. All right. Come on, Bubs. We love to buy old Mercedes cars because they're just so well built. They really keep their value, and car makers just love them. You gotta like that, right, Chuck? So what do we have here?
Got a 61 Benz 190. All the custom work done to it.
All right. I've never seen a 1961 Mercedes with one of those 25-inch wheels.
19s.
They just look a lot bigger on the little
Yeah.
car, I guess.
Yeah. I came down to the pawn shop today to try selling my 1961 Mercedes Benz. I'm always looking for a new project and having some more fun on another one. Looking to get $36,000 for it. If I had, I'd take $28,000.
Obviously, this ain't stock, man. What you do to it?
Did a lot of stuff to it. Tore the car down the bare frame and started ground up. Interior's redone. Clogged the tail lights. Shaved door handles. I put poppers on there to be able to open doors just with my remote.
Okay. Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
The first Mercedes cars came out in the early 1900s. They really weren't that popular when they were first imported into the U.S., but eventually they became a major status symbol. There's still some work to be done on this interior, I'll tell you that. The steering wheel ain't pretty, and do you have a piece of metal that went right here in the dash?
I actually was planning to put a TV in there with a surround sound.
Okay. All in all, I mean, it's a nice job. The more I look at this car, the more I'm liking it. It needs a little work to finish it up, but not much. All right, how many miles are on this thing?
Somewhere around 84,000 or something like that.
That's not bad. I'm not as nearly impressed under the hood as I am the rest of the car, to tell you the truth.
Did custom airbags, four-way.
All four-way?
Yep, all four.
These airbags are sort of like hydraulics. They'll make the car go up and down, but not all crazy like the hydraulics do in a car like Chump's. I'm surprised those things haven't completely destroyed Chump's car. Ordinarily, I wouldn't have a problem selling a 61 Benz, but most collectors want to buy restored cars, not tricked out ones like this. It's definitely different. Yeah, I definitely feel a vibe on it. I like it. But how much do you want for it?
I'm asking 36.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, man.
A lot of car, though.
I mean, it's really cool what you've done to it. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to sell it. Let's give Danny a call. Yeah, okay, let's go give Danny a call, see what he thinks. Okay? All right, be right back.
All right. I think it's pretty cool that we get an expert to come in here and check out the car and tell me what he thinks it's worth.
Further, we looked at a Stevens 3-trigger shotgun that could be 150 years old. I'm not sure what it's worth, so I called my buddy Jemison to come down and take a look. Jemison, how you doing, man?
Good evening, boss. How's it going?
Oh, good.
I've been a gun appraiser for approximately 16 years and specialize in antique firearms, particularly Western firearms like Colts and Winchesters. Well, Corey, I have to say this is one of the rarest shotguns that I've ever seen. I've only seen maybe 4 or 5 in about 16 years of doing this. And most of them are unengraved. It's all on the frame and also on the trigger guard. Very nice scroll engraving.
I mean, I kind of figured that to engrave it and make it look that good, I'm assuming you had to be kind of a wealthy guy to own it back then.
Well, reasonably wealthy. I think people back then appreciated firearms more than they do now in a way because they were a sense of livelihood. This shotgun was used for hunting primarily. It does capture your attention with the 3 triggers. Other than having the front trigger unlatch the barrels, it's pretty much a standard hammered shotgun. They were very good quality for that period. This gun's seen a lot of wear, a lot of use.
This might be a repair. You can see where the grain doesn't quite match, so it might be a little splice right here. You can see the butt is really worn, like it's been used quite a bit. It does have pitting on the barrel. This gun would classify to me in fair condition.
Well, hold on there. How would you rate that as not being in excellent condition? It's 150 years old.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, sir. You know, in the gun trade, it has to be in really, really mint condition. I think there's a misconception out there that rarity is always worth money. Most of the time, it needs to be old and in excellent condition.
I just don't know what it's worth.
That's to be expected. It's unusual. Most people wouldn't know what it's worth. This gun in the condition that it's in now would be worth about $700 to $1,000.
How much?
$700 to $1,000. There's no way. If it were in much better condition, it would be worth a lot more money.
How much more?
If it were in really nice shape, maybe $2,000 to $3,000. I'm saying that maybe.
Jimson, thanks for coming in.
Thanks a lot, sir. I don't think you will get a better price. If he sells it to anyone who knows firearms, they're not going to give him much more than that for it.
If you're gonna hold me to make you an offer, I'm gonna offer you around $500.
There's no way.
I've done turned down $2,500. I honestly would like $10,000. If I were you, I would chase down the guy that offered you $2,500 and shake him down for it. I think maybe the 3-trigger thing, it might have just not been practical, which could have been why they stopped making the 3-trigger models. So you want the $500? No, I can't take the $500. It's more than that, just to show the people, my friends, when they come to visit. You know, man, it's been in your family this long, you might as well share it for another 60 years. I'm going to continue doing my research. In my own heart, I know it's worth more money.
In 1864 Abraham Lincoln campaign token. I figured it doesn't fit in my collection, so if I get the money, I can use the money.
So tell me a little bit about this.
This is an 1864 Abraham Lincoln campaign token. It would be given out on the back of a train when he was campaigning for presidency.
Oh, wow.
I did get pointed to the biggest token dealer in the Northeast. He actually showed me the book and he gave me the number so I could refer to it. So it actually has a place in a book.
Okay.
So I know it's legit and I know that it's hard to find. You know, I have seen pictures of them, but can't find a price. So I'm sure it's worth quite a bit of money.
Okay. Well, you must have some figure in your head of what you want to get for this.
I'm thinking about $1,500.
That is definitely not a decision I'm going to be able to make by myself. Rocco,
Yeah.
do you know anything about this place? I have no idea what this thing is worth. I can't just take this guy's word for it.
It's pretty worn. It's really hard to make out. I've seen similar coins, but I haven't seen this one before.
Alright. I think I'm going to have to call Rick in. I've been working here for a few months now, and I still get nervous calling Rick in the middle of the night. I don't know enough about it, and I know how much he loves any Lincoln memorabilia. He'd be really upset if I let this walk out the door.
Yeah, good luck.
Do you have a few minutes to wait?
Absolutely. I really hope our boss knows more about this than she does because I don't want it to be wasting my time.
Earlier, a guy came in with a really old Abraham Lincoln campaign token. Rocco and I didn't know anything about it, so I had to wake up Rick in the middle of the night to check it out. I'm sorry I had to call you in.
Being the boss does have its perks, but it's also got its downside, like being woken up in the middle of the night. I hope she doesn't make a habit of this. What do you got?
I have an 1864 Abraham Lincoln campaign token.
So did you have anybody look at it, or?
Actually, I had a real big token dealer. He told me it was extremely rare.
This was a punch. 64, the only advertising you really have is maybe some signs in the newspapers. But when he comes through town, he hands these out. He's got everybody. This is what the president gave me. And just think, like he could have helped us himself. Pretty cool.
Oh, wow. So, how do you come up with a value on a token like this?
Oye, que no me
Value, it's rarity, desirability.
condition of it. The condition is everything. There's a grading system for coins and tokens. This is pretty much towards the bottom. 90% of the details gone. How much are we looking at it?
Well, I've already had offers. Being honest with you, I'm not trying to win the deal. I'm thinking about $1,500.
I mean, I've seen tokens like this go for a couple $1,000, but those are ones in really great shape. I've never seen one in this condition go for that kind of money.
Have you ever seen one?
They're all rare. It all comes down to basic economics, supply and demand. Okay, it's not in great shape, so you're not going to get as much money for it. Something like that I'd probably sell for like $400. That's what I'd get out of it. I'd go like $300 on it.
What about just the historical value?
Maybe in that shape. Yeah, I'd go like $300 on it. That's what I'd do.
I can't do that.
Okay, I mean, if you have someone who'll pay more than that, go for it. But that's what I can do.
Okay, I would respectfully decline.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Since I'm supposed to be here in a few hours anyway, there's no point in leaving. Want some coffee?
Yeah, please, thank you.
We're unable to make a deal tonight, so this is an easy one for me. I have buyers, so I'll just keep shopping it around.
I forgot how boring it is working the night shift.
On this episode of Pawn Stars.
Got a sign from the Berlin Wall.
It's definitely a cool part of history. After World War II, the Soviet Union controlled the eastern half of Germany. Next thing you know, they're putting up a wall. But I don't believe this was in Berlin.
I got the original Garbage Pail Kids. It's absolutely hilarious.
Virus Iris Sahimiki.
There's a couple of these going for $300-400 a card. It's a Mercedes Unimog, the German military did.
These trucks are really cool. I mean, they have massive torque. It'll go just about anywhere. You mind if we take it for a spin?
It would be really fun to take this off-road.
Oh, I want to buy this thing.
I'm Rick Harrison, and this is my pawn shop. I work here with my old man and my son, Big Hoss.
Everything in here has a story
And a price.
One thing I've learned over 21 years, you never know what is going to come through that door. What have we got today?
I have an 1890s Tiffany pocket watch.
Okay.
An 18 karat gold.
Where did you get this? That's heavy. There's lots of pocket watches out there from this time period, and literally you can barely put your thumb on it, and the case will flex because it's made out of gold. Gold's expensive, really lightweight. You pick this thing up and you go, damn, that's a lot of gold.
I came to the pawn shop today to sell an 1890s Tiffany pocket watch made out of 18 karat gold. I'd really rather have a watch I can use like a Rolex. I'm looking for about 10 to 12,000. The least I'd like to take is about 6,000.
The great thing is it's Tiffany. I mean, it's as far as like jewelry in the United States, it's probably the most iconic brand, hands down. Basically, anything that says Tiffany on it is going to be really well made.
Inside of here is the actual movement.
Probably a 17 tool movement. What the jewels do is the staff, the gears, sits in between those. It's not metal against metal. It's metal against the sapphire. The sapphire is very hard. It's not going to wear down. This is definitely a Swiss movement. It looks like Patek Philippe because that's what Tiffany used back at this time period. Patek Philippe was founded in Switzerland back in the mid-1800s by a Polish guy named Patek and a Frenchman named Philippe. They were like the dynamic duo of watchmaking. They came up with tons of innovations and actually invented the first wristwatch. Now, it is Tiffany & Company. It's got a incredibly heavy 18 karat gold case that's not dinged up, scratched up, anything like that. That's hard to find. It's a great watch. Now there are some problems with it. There's nothing special about it. There's no up and down indicator. There's no stopwatch. There's no repeater. There's no moon phase, anything like that. It's a bare bones movement. This is the ones they made on the assembly line in Switzerland. These are not the handmade ones. Gotcha. So, what do you want to do with it?
I was looking for 10 to 12,000.
That's not going to happen. Normally, pocket watches go like this for like $2,500. But you have this massively heavy case. So I mean, you have all that intrinsic value of all the gold, right? You got $4,000 here.
I can't go that low. You bring up some good arguments, but I still think it's a gorgeous watch. I'd be willing to come down to 7,500.
No, $4,000 is my top dollar.
But you can't hit with the top dollar right off the bat. You know, I'm 5 and it's yours today.
No, $4,000.
There's got to be a little bit more in there. Come on, you got to give me something.
NFL season is here. Get NFL Sunday Ticket at YouTube TV and watch every game every Sunday, all in one place. Sign up today. Terms and embargoes apply.
I'll go 42. That's it.
All right, I can do that.
All right, $4,200.
Thank you.
This is a great buy for the shop. Old Tiffany stuff usually flies off the shelf. Even if it didn't, I'd still want to buy it just for the gold below.
What do we have here?
I got the original first series Garbage Pail Kids. Almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick. Ever seen these? You look like a garbage pail kid. I don't know about them.
Came to the pawn shop today to try and sell my Garbage Pail Kids. They've been in my old bedroom at my parents' house. They're not doing me really any good at this point other than a good laugh here and there. So I think if I can get something out of it, it'd be nice.
So do you know much about them?
82 cards total for the first series. Came out in the early 80s, like 84. Kind of a spoof on the Cabbage Patch doll. Came in little packs just like baseball cards. These are actually stickers, not just trading cards. So most people back in the day probably took them off and stuck them to something.
So why does each character have 2 names?
I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. If you look at some of the characters and things like that, I mean, it's absolutely hilarious to think of a kid with a bunch of pimples on his face called Crater Chris.
Virus Iris. Okay. Sicky Vicky.
My favorite was always Graffiti Petey because he's tagging everywhere.
This is a really cool flashback to 1980s culture. But since they were mass-produced to be collectible, I don't know if there's a ton of value here. But who knows? The nostalgia factor might make these the next big collectible.
There's a couple of these cards online going for $300-400 a card.
Whoa. They're asking or getting?
No, asking.
Okay.
Asking.
Because you can ask anything you want.
You're right, yeah.
I have no idea what they're worth. I don't know if the first edition is worth more. I mean, things are weird out there. Sometimes, like the third or fourth is worth more.
Right.
I got a buddy right down the street who owns a vintage toy shop. Let me give him a call and see if he knows anything about it.
All right. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right. Thank you. I'm happy that somebody's going to actually come in and give their expert opinion. And I think that they're going to actually realize that they're worth something.
Earlier, I got a call from a guy looking to unload an old Mercedes. So Corey and I are headed out to take a look. Oh, it was a Mercedes. It is a Mercedes.
1962. The Mercedes Unimog, the German military dig.
Well, obviously it's a Mercedes, but I just totally not what I expected. I thought it was a car.
I called the guys down at the pawn shop to check out my Unimog. It feels awesome to drive this. I'd like to sell it because I need another project. I would love to get something like $22,000 for it.
All right, so tell me about it.
This Unimog was a model called the Radio Box, and the inside was filled with shells and radios. The Germans used to hide in the woods, listening to the Russians during the Cold War with us. It was very, very versatile.
Yeah, these trucks are really cool. I mean, they have massive torque, they'll climb anything, they'll ford rivers, it'll go just about anywhere.
It also has an articulated chassis. It'll bend, so if it goes into a hole, it pretty much stays level all the time. It's meant to be off-road.
The Unimog was designed in Germany right after World War II. They were originally designed to be used on farms, but the things were so damn tough, they became popular with militaries around the world. So it's your standard military vehicle, extremely uncomfortable with bare bones. Yep. Can you start it up for us?
Sure.
It's an old Mercedes motor, but it looks in good shape. I don't see any leaks. The Unimogs are cool. It's every kid's dream to have a truck like that. It can drive through anything. But I've never bought or sold one of these things before. So figuring out a price is going to be tricky.
Okay, ready to buy it?
It depends on how much you want for it.
I would like to get about $22,000 for it.
Okay, before I make an offer, I gotta figure out what this thing's worth. I don't think there's a Kelly Blue Book on Unimogs. So do you mind if I get someone down here and have take a look at it, and let's go from there, all right?
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. I'm sure they're calling an expert. I'm very confident that it'll get a good report.
I have a huge surprise for you. Yes. Oh my God.
Your favorite comedy series is on Pluto TV. Bates is back. All about The King of Queens, now streaming free on Pluto TV.
Earlier, Corey and I checked out a really cool Mercedes military vehicle. But it's so unusual, I don't know what to offer for it. So I asked my buddy Danny to come by and help me out.
Wow. Unimog. Sweet, man. Guys usually call me to come check out any kind of a vehicle, a car, a truck, a hot rod, whatever it may be. It looks beautiful. The engineering in this is just way ahead of its time, man. I love that accent design. You know, they do that on the Hummers, you know, the H1s, the portal gears in there. Keeps the axle high, but it keeps the vehicle lower to the ground. This was kind of cutting edge back then. The Unimogs, I mean, they started off life as basically tractors, but their real forte was military use. The fact that the chassis flexes like that, which allows the vehicle to go anywhere, I really believe that the Unimogs were way ahead of their time. Sounds great. Have you driven it yet?
No, do you mind if we take it for a spin?
No, please do. I mean, when you really think about what these things had to do, and it's still in this good a shape, that's a tough vehicle. Should you do a little off-road on that?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're not going.
Yeah.
It's too bad they're just driving on these flat streets. If they took it, off-road, they would have a blast.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I want to buy this thing.
Oh yeah, man. It's comfortable. Everything really worked absolutely as it should on this vehicle. I think the spline's at least 2 or 3 inches shorter than it was before it started.
So is there a market for these things?
Yeah, there is, believe it or not. They've kind of got this cult following. It's not like a market for a Harley Davidson or something. It's a narrower market, but there's a market for it. I've seen them going nice ones, $17,000, maybe $18,000 mark. I would classify this one as nicer, really nice. This is probably the nicest one I've ever seen.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, it should go for more than that.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me come out and do this, man. This is fun. And thanks for that ride, man. I'm going to go get the blood circulating back.
Thanks.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure.
I am fired up to make an offer on this thing. I could definitely sell it to a military collector or an off-roader who would actually use it. So how much were you looking at it?
I'd really like to get 22. I think it's a good shape. A lot of money into it.
You know when you put money into it, though, you weren't going to get it back.
I think I've done this before. So I
Okay.
expect to get some of it back.
It is in very nice shape, but it's not an easy sell. This is really limited market. Okay? And I can give you 15 grand today. You walk away and it's done.
15 is a lot lower than I ever thought. I know you have to make a profit, but I mean, I would really say I'd take 18 right now, and that I think would be my bottom line. What do you say?
I'm the one taking all the risk. If the motor blows up tomorrow, I'm stuck with it. So,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll do 16,000.
16.5. I think I can make a deal.
I'm looking at it's probably going to take me a while to sell this, so 16,000. That's what I can do.
Okay, we have a deal.
All right.
Thank you. I'm happy. I'm ready to get on to another project. And now my driveway will be clear and I can get my other car out.
I cannot wait to show this to the old man. Earlier, a guy brought in some garbage pail kids' cars from the 1980s. I doubt if they're worth much, but what the hell? I'm going to get them checked out. So I asked my buddy Johnny to take a look.
What's happening, Johnny?
Hey, what's up, brother? The guys usually call me down to the pawn shop to either get a second opinion on a piece or they want to put a value on something. Garbage Pail Kids came out in the mid '80s. They're basically a parody of Cabbage Patch Kids.
So they made fun of everything.
Yeah, there was no line that wasn't crossed with Garbage Pail Kids. They went up to about 15 series, but definitely the more sought after series 1 by far.
Why did Garbage Pail Kids have two different names for the cars?
Well, just two different series, A series and a B series.
That's a pretty good marketing trick. Just change the name and it's a new car.
Exactly. As soon as those were released, I was a big fan from day one. I mean, I was, going through the couches, picking up quarters to go to the store to go buy more packs. And they're funny too. They're really funny cards.
All right, so people collect these things?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of stuff from the '80s is really hot right now. You can find them. The hard thing to find them is to find them clean. Kids holding around with their dirty hands, you'll lose that white around the edges of the cards. These tend to get beat a lot more than anything else. But these look in really good shape. Okay. You got a complete Series 1 set here. You got the A and B, and you also have some extras. So I'll put a price in the book for about $450 to $500 for the book.
I had no clue. Thanks, man. You're the best.
No problem. The corners are crisp. They're nice and white the way you want to see them. It's definitely a pretty nice collection.
So how much you want for this?
I was thinking maybe a couple $100.
I believe there's a limited market on this. I'll give you $150.
Something tells me you're going to be able to unload these to somebody. 175?
How about $150?
Not 175. Won't go any higher.
I don't think they're going to sell that easy. I'm not going to go up anymore. I'm really not.
But 150 is the best you're going to do?
Yeah.
I'll do 150 with you.
Okay, let's deal. All right, you want to write up, John?
I would have liked to have gotten a little bit more, but it was money that I didn't come in with, so I'm going to go have a little bit of fun.
So me and Danny are test driving it. There's a lump of desert there with some little drop-offs. Next thing you know, I got Danny flying all over the cab without wearing a seatbelt. Ever since I bought that Unimog, all I've been thinking about is off-roading and racing.
Sounds like you guys got to take this thing racing in the desert.
I don't think you want to take it racing. I mean, the thing's top speed is like 45 miles an hour.
That's around your top speed in the desert, isn't it?
Please. My dad thinks he's a better racer than me, but I remember beating his ass when I had to tow him back to camp.
Before it broke out, I was running circles around you.
Yeah, what does that have? Like 500 more horsepower than mine?
I am a better driver than you. There's just no two ways about it. I am.
I mean, put me in the same vehicle, the same motor, everything. I'll beat you every time.
I know where we can sell this. Go-karts.
Let's go.
You guys got to bet something.
Yeah, we just got the girls in your pink pawn shop shirts.
I'll bet that.
All right.
It looks good and pink anyways.
Okay, so let's go ride some go-karts, and after you lose, you get to wear a pink polo to work every day for a week.
All right, sounds good. Let's do it.
Make damn sure you don't do it on the company time.
Yeah, sure.
What we got here, man? Got a sign from the Berlin Wall. That's I bought this estate sale.
It's definitely a cool part of history. For lack of a better term, it just really sucked to live in East Germany, okay?
On this side of the wall, they have toilet paper as far as the eye can see. And the other side of the wall, you get it on Fridays. I've come down to the pawn shop today to sell my sign from the Berlin Wall. It does not match what would fit in my bar. I'm looking at $800 for it, but I'll go down as low as $250. Behind the sign, there's a letter from one of the captains in the U.S. Army.
Okay.
And it mentions that it was at the 1 kilometer zone from the East-West German border. So I thought it had to be something during the Cold War, during the Berlin Wall era. How'd that come to be? Like, where does it come down to where you actually build a wall across the city?
Well, what happened with Berlin was it was part of the treaties after World War II that the Soviet Union controlled the eastern half of Germany, the United States and the Allies controlled the western half of Germany. Remember, we were friends with the Russians. They were the ones who helped us beat the Germans. Well, everything soured real quickly between the United States and the Soviet Union. Next thing you know, they're putting up a wall. That was the center of the Cold War. It was pretty crazy until 1990. I mean, their economy was more or less collapsing around itself. Suddenly, democracy broke out, and the wall came down. This is definitely a cool reminder of one of the biggest moments in world history. With When the wall came down, it was a sign that the Cold War and decades of international tension were coming to an end. I don't believe this was in Berlin. This was probably really close to a checkpoint, a border crossing. This told U.S. personnel, stop right here and let's decide whether you can go closer to the border. What do you want to do with it? How much you want for it?
How about $800?
Everyone's going to think it's cool, but who's going to buy it and hang it up in their house?
You got a good point.
How's $250 up?
You know, there's history behind this. How about we do 500?
I'll give you $350 for it.
Can't do any better than that.
Why would I? We're all figuring this out. I mean, I'll go 350. That's the best I can do.
It's not just where you eat, it's who you share it with. Sometimes the best conversations happen over the most unexpected meals. The funniest moments don't need words. Shared plates, shared stories. Open table.
I don't have to use for that bar. The deal.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. The least I was going to take was $250, so I feel real good. I got more than I was expecting.
Earlier, Corey and I made a bet on who's the best driver. So we're heading to the go-kart track to settle. Loser has to wear a pink pawn shop shirt